My home state of Washington is just becoming that ultimate train wreck. And today, we're talking about a bus truck wreck. They're just terrible. Washington State refuses ICE detainer for a criminal illegal alien trucker charged in school bus pileup. This is a massive pileup. And when all said and done, ICE said, hey, hold that guy. What did Washington State Patrol do? Yeah, no. Let him go into the wild. We'll see what happens. Absolute insanity here in Washington State. Let's get into it. Here we go. Reading from the Post-Millennial, Ari Hoffman, the Hofffather. Sanctuary politicians in Washington failed once again to protect American citizens by refusing to honor our ICE arrest detainer. If you're not familiar with the process, if ICE is aware that they've got a criminal illegal out there or somebody who has a detainer, they can say, hey, we need to grab that guy. And you know what? In these sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, they just, no, we need the criminals to just go into our communities and do their thing. That's literally what you've got going on here. Let's watch a quick video. It's so, I don't know what it is, but to me, I mean, it's nasty. It's un-American. It is. I don't know how, politicians can say, hey, this is a great idea. Let's just take this guy who's got a whole bunch of stuff in his criminal background, doesn't have a driver's license, doesn't have insurance, doesn't have a medical card, all requirements, and we'll just let him go because he's an illegal. I mean, it's pure insanity. Let's watch a little Fox News video here.
Yeah, Sabira, Washington State Patrol says not only was that semi-truck driver speeding and following too closely on these rep roads behind me, they say that driver did also not have a proper license to be behind the wheel. You are looking at a picture of the aftermath of the semi trying to avoid rear-ending a...
So it was a car carrier, right? Car carrier with a whole bunch of cars on it. And school bus involved. I mean, just the whole thing. So a dude without a license who is a criminal illegal was up in the cab, causes this massive wreck, massive traffic accident. Traffic backed up for miles. And they let this bastard go? I mean, literally just, hey, yeah, go out there, get out there, son, and do some more crashing without a license in a big truck. It's just, it's befuddling. You know what I mean? You're like, what? What? You did what? When law enforcement does this, I mean, it's, yeah.
School bus that was slowing down for traffic. This is on I-5 northbound in Lacey near Martin Way. WSP says the semi lost control and hit the school bus plus 3 other vehicles. Troopers say 3 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. At one point this morning, the crash blocked all lanes before WashDOT worked to reopen the road. The semi-truck that investigators say caused the wreck was a car hauler. Turns out the driver did not have a valid commercial driver's license. So not only were they not following the rules, following too closely, and ignoring the wet road conditions, WSP said the truck driver was hauling unlawfully.
There's the reason why these laws are in place is for safety. So it prevents things like this from happening. You don't want people behind the wheel who don't know what they're doing.
The semi-driver was arrested and booked into Thurston County Jail for driving a commercial vehicle without a valid commercial driver's license.
And since we're watching videos, let's go ahead and watch this video for the 10,000th time. This is a guy down in Florida who I believe got his CDL license from Washington. Yeah, I mean, my state is just, we're at the pinnacle of insanity. Yeah.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 1144 on the East Coast, 844 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the...
Here's our guy. He does an illegal U-turn on major interstate, and he's literally just watching as vehicles absolutely slam into his truck. into his big 18-wheeler. Just, it boggles my mind. And then, just get out of here, son. Get back out there and cause some more crashes, because we don't want to detain you. We don't want ICE to get you because of some failed progressive ideology. I mean, it's so backwards.
The world. We do have new details after an undocumented migrant truck driver was charged with causing a crash that killed 3 people in Florida. The suspect was arrested over the weekend on 3 counts of vehicular homicide. And as I said, there is a lot of information coming out here. Jonathan Seri with Fox News joining us now.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it one more time here.
Live to discuss much more about all of this and that new.
Okay, boom.
Jonathan.
The thing on that guy is he's just so nonchalant about it, right? He's like, oh, hey, car just 75 miles an hour, just drove into my rig. And he kind of looks back. Like, didn't say anything. He's got his buddy right there. Like, what's he thinking? If I'm doing that, I'm like, holy, what's going on here? So here's our guy. There he is. Criminal illegal alien with a long record of DUIs, drugs, and 2 prior deportations was released back onto the streets of Washington State after allegedly causing a 6-car pileup involving a school bus while driving a semi-truck without a license, even though federal immigration authorities had lodged a detainer and requested custody. Hey, Washington State Patrol, we need this guy. We need this guy. Yeah, we need him. Washington State is so effed in the head with these sanctuary policies. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. How does that help the constituents of Washington State, knowing you got this guy who's got he's got a whole bunch of stuff on his record, no license, nothing that qualifies him to be a driver of a big vehicle carrier. I mean, I've driven some pretty big trucks, never an 18-wheeler, never anything that large, always like a big box truck. You got to really watch what you're doing, right? Because they don't brake real. When you got a big heavy load in the back, they don't slow down very well. And if the roads are wet, right? And this guy here, he knows that he's golden. Washington State, no sanctuary. He's covered. U.S. Department of Homeland Security announced that ICE filed an immigration detainer for Juan Hernandez Santos, a Mexican national accused of causing the December 4 wreck in Lacey, Washington, when the 18-wheeler he was driving slammed into another vehicle, triggering a multi-car chain reaction that included a school bus on I-5 near Martin. Because of Washington sanctuary policies, local authorities refused to honor the ICE detainer. Honestly, make this make sense. In what world does law enforcement say, adios, good luck out there, tiger, let's go get him, right? And released him instead of transferring him to federal custody. It is so backwards. And how are people not just absolutely outraged that this is the thing? Right? How is that? How is this not just, what in the actual F are you doing? This sanctuary city, sanctuary state policy is so bad. It's so bad. Like, this guy should be tossed. No questions asked. Tossed. This dangerous illegal alien has a criminal history, including multiple DUIs, possessing a controlled substance, 2 prior removals from the U.S., deport. It was a walking public safety threat and illegally was driving a massive 18-wheeler when he caused a 6-car pileup involving a school bus on the highway in Washington. Thankfully, no children were in the bus. Yes, but how about the other people that went to the hospital and their cars are absolutely wrecked? The truck is wrecked. Whomever hired this guy, he got a license? Oh, no? You have insurance? No? You got anything? I mean, do you got a pair of flip-flops that you wear when you drive that big rig? See those videos, right? This story could have had a very different tragic ending. Yeah, but it wasn't a great ending as it was. Yeah, get out there, Tiger. We'll see ya. Sanctuary politicians in Washington failed once again to protect American citizens by refusing to honor our ICE arrest detainer. This is backwards. This is backwards thinking in justice, right? Everybody in law enforcement should be focused on the same thing, which is public safety, protecting the citizens who pay taxes from numbnuts like these. But because this guy is an illegal, it's so ingrained in Washington state to be mentally handicapped. Our leaders are so mentally handicapped that this is what they come up with. Oh, ICE wants him? Oh, yeah, no. Run, Forrest, run from ICE. That's literally what you've got going on here. Department of Homeland Security detailed a long history of immigration violations and criminal conduct. In 2005, Hernandez Santos was removed to Mexico. He illegally re-entered. Once back in the U.S., his criminal record continued to grow. So he had driving without a license, driving under the influence, hit and run with property damage, possession of a controlled substance, drugs, and arrested him again for driving under the influence. And this guy is driving a truck, a big truck. In what world do you say, you know what, it's going to work out fine? I mean, it's not like he has a history of, bad driving decisions or driving under the influence or driving under drugs. I mean, but he does. He does. He literally actually does. Despite this record, Washington's sanctuary framework meant that when he allegedly caused a 6-car wreck involving a school bus driver while driving a semi-truck without a CDL, local authorities still declined to turn him over to ICE. This is an absolute failure. This is where Washington state and other sanctuary states absolutely fail. There is zero excuse for this. Zero excuse for this. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Detain this bastard and out of the country he goes. Simple as that. Not that hard. It's not that hard. Then we start to get into 𝗪𝗔𝗔𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗕. He's our dude who's, just driving along. There goes a car bashing into my truck. Oh, there's another one. Good Lord. Oh, there goes another one. 3 people got killed. Terrible, terrible. That case prompted Florida's Attorney General to sue Washington and California at the U.S. Supreme Court, seeking to bar both states, Washington state, from issuing commercial driver's licenses to non-citizens. We've done the podcasts where we talked about, what could go wrong? What could go wrong when you issue commercial driver's licenses or any kind of professional license to those who don't have citizenship? They're not here legally. They can be bumped by ICE. What could go wrong? Let's just go ahead and see what happens. And, we'll just throw that out there and, it should be fine, right? Should be fine. Here's another portion of that story. Our dude in the light green shirt is just, killing some people back there. He failed the commercial driver's license test 10 times. I mean, the thing I can say about this guy is at least he went through the proper channels to get his commercial driver's license granted. It wasn't issued, correctly. The other side would say, oh, yeah, Sean, they followed the federal law. Yeah, the guy's illegal. And he doesn't know what he's doing. And obviously, if you fail the commercial driver's license test 10 times, you should not be driving. You need to go to elementary school and learn English and then learn how to read English. Because when you are driving around, you need to be able to read what those street signs are. I would not venture into his country, get behind a big truck and go, hey, let's just see how far I can get. That'd be a no-go. I'd be like, I don't really want to get stuck in a jail in this country. That would suck. So you just don't do it, right? But here in the U.S., they know, sanctuary city. Go get me a license. Just be driving. I'll take my risks on where I drive. Hopefully I'll get busted in a, sanctuary city and sanctuary state. Everything will be great. That guy, he killed 3 people because he did an illegal U-turn with an 18-wheeler. You know what I mean? And the stories just keep a-going. Police 𝗪𝗥𝗘𝗠𝗜𝗨𝗠, after a legal immigrant trucker with New York license involved in deadly wreck, should have never been driving. The stories just keep on going. Driver without CDL crashes tractor trailer, closes lanes of I-85. And I think this one is this in Indiana? No, Petersburg, Virginia. We've got so many of these stories, and yet, what's the end result? We don't seem to be changing sanctuary city policies, do we? We're still doubling down on, ICE is bad. ICE is bad. ICE is the ones that you need to worry about. Saw a meme right before, it was kind of a disturbing meme. It was somebody saying about Rob Reiner, Meathead. Did you watch All in the Family when you were a kid? If you know that show, you're old like me, right? That was it was a weird show to watch as a kid because you knew you weren't supposed to say the N-word. You knew instinctively that was a no-go, but a lot of people around you still did. Just threw it out there, N-bomb all day long. And, they were white. And then you see on television, Archie Bunker just laying into Rob Reiner. He was supposed to be the hippy-dippy, and he was supposed to be the husband of Sally Struthers, who was kind of hot. If you're young, you're watching All in the Family. Never watched it with my family because they just, I don't know. That wasn't their thing. That wasn't their go-to. But I remember watching that, and the meme that I saw this morning was all that bitching about Trump, and it wasn't really Trump that ended up, ending your life in the end. It was your own kid. If you haven't seen that story, absolutely horrible. Rob Reiner found stabbed to death in his own home with his, I think, wife number 2. The crazy thing about that was his wife number 2, the one that he was stabbed to death, found both bodies. She took the photo of Trump for The Art of the Deal. She was a photographer. So just all these weird stories going on, right? I remember earlier yesterday, I was, reading the news and I'm like, 2 dead bodies found in one of Rob Reiner's homes. And I'm like, God, that can't be Rob Reiner. There's no way. I thought it was a rental property and just, hey, and then Rob Reiner's son has been detained for questioning by the authorities. But, meme like that, and you're like, okay, yeah, maybe you don't hammer on Orange Man bad all the time because that really isn't the problem. The problem is the reality here that you're letting a criminal go, just run amok in society that clearly shouldn't be out there. Shouldn't be out there at all. Should be behind bars. And instead, what's Washington State doing? Just letting them go. Letting them go. Absolutely. That should be illegal. Everybody involved in that decision-making process should be held accountable and should go to jail. They just should. You know what I mean? It's just, it's so preposterous. But that is the world that I live in Washington State. You've literally got people here who honestly believe that ICE is the problem. And you're just like, you need to go get a psychiatric check there, Junior. Hello? Anybody home? McFly? Right? New York is the 8th state found to have improperly issued commercial driver's licenses to immigrants. Now, what I would say, because this is news for reasonable people and not, news for just jackasses, is that Texas and South Dakota have also been cited for, hey, you guys got to get your driver's licenses in line. Part of the problem is that at one point in time, the federal government basically under Biden said, we can go ahead and issue these licenses. And if they have work authorization, which is, there's that whole, are they authorized? Yeah, they're authorized to work, but they're not U.S. citizens. They can be deported at any point in time. We don't know where they are in their process. We don't know what steps they've taken. All these people that are unvetted are improperly issued commercial driver's license to immigrants. So you've got Republican states in this as well. And so all of that is kind of being cleaned up now because U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, he threatened to withhold $73 million in highway funds unless the system is fixed and any flawed licenses are revoked. That was to New York. Same thing with Washington State. I mean, it's California and Pennsylvania and Minnesota. What about the actual massive debacle of, the funding that was supposed to go to the children in Minneapolis with, Tim Walz, football coach, but you're like, are you sure you weren't, a cheerleader coach? Are you sure you weren't a dance routine coach? Because, Tim Walz does this number and you're like, where is he going with that? But the corruption coming out of these Democrat states and Democrat cities, like my state, the mindset to me is, hey, if somebody's being detained, they shouldn't be detained. All right. Okay. But you're going to have that when you have 12 million, 15 million, 20 million criminal illegals allowed into the country. ICE is going to have some makeup work to do, right? They're going to go a little bit overtime. They're going to haul some people out of there. You're going to have a handful of cases where they're going to have to say, you know what? This wasn't the correct way to go down on this individual, but those are few and far between. And now you've got instances like these jokers killing people without a license in Democrat states, basically saying, well, because of our principles, and because we want to protect people. And you're like, what about the people they just murdered? Oh, yeah. That's where the wires get crossed, right? And you're like, what is wrong with you? Hello, McFly, anybody in there? And at the end of the day, I don't think anybody is. I don't think they are. I think they're out to lunch. Because otherwise you'd go, yeah, cause some damage, history of criminal activity, no driver's license, deport that bad boy. But instead, we're making such a statement that, Orange Man bad, feds are bad, ICE is bad. Yeah, like all the ridiculous people with the no king signs. We're helping. No, you're not. You look like a moron and you're not helping. Ask the families of all these people that have been impacted by these drivers that have been hit, who shouldn't have been on the road, how much you're helping. No kings. You're not helping at all. You're making it worse. Wild stuff. Washington State. Whew. Yeah. Like I always say, podcast for days, weeks, months, years. I mean, this is just going to go on for when you got a socialist for a mayor of Seattle. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.